Hey, I'm Krista X. You're listening to MSP Sound on KMFAI, and I'm so excited to have Emily of Sister Species with me. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me, Krista. Great to see you.
Oh my gosh, I know Emily, it's been a really long time since you've been on the show. We don't have to talk numbers, but I know it was pre-pandemic. So it is wonderful to be connected again.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Glad to be back. Glad to still be here.
Yes, me too. And we're here today because of Sister Species has a brand new album. My
Yay!
voice is going up because at the excitement level, that's when my voice goes up. So I apologize. But let's talk about the new album.
Yeah, well, our new album, Lena in the Bog, came out on September 20th on Aura Vortex Records, which is like a little label that I run. And we're celebrating on October 24th with a release show at the Cedar Cultural Center, just down the street from KFAI. And KFAI is sponsoring the release show, which we so appreciate, feeling all the radio love. Um, but yeah, Lena and the Bog is in the world, which is a really great feeling.
Yeah, it is amazing and it is a great album. I really like it. Tell me a little bit more about kind of in between albums. I know there was a pandemic between all of that. So tell me kind of like how the process was and how we're here now with Lena in the Bog.
Yeah, totally. So our last album, Light Exchanges, came out in May of 2020, which was like a pretty wild time to release an album. And I think we started writing some of the songs for Lena and the Bog maybe around that time. I think the first song that I wrote for the album I wrote kind of like when lockdown started. And it was a really like fun and slow and patient process to write it. I think because we had just released something that we were proud of, there was like less of a rush to release something. We've also just been a band for a long time. And so I think at some point you start to be like, why would we rush when we can move a little slower? Like when we can move at paces that like work for everyone's lives and things like that. Um, so yeah, the songs are written from 2020 to like January of 2023. And again, a very like patient unfolding process because for a long time we like couldn't get together, you know? So we had like, I think we started like rehearsing in my backyard at some point, but it was just sort of slow to piece it all together. There's seven of us, so there also was a lot of like navigating people's different comfort with risk and togetherness and all those things. But yeah, eventually we got everything arranged with all seven of us. And then we recorded with Jason McLone at the Hideaway in the spring of 2023. And then, yeah, also kind of just took our time to like finish up doing vocals and mixing and overdubs and all the stuff that goes into finishing an album. And now it's out. So I think it's kind of like the broad story about making it, but I think lots of like patience and trust in the process and just being like, it's gonna unfold, it will come out, like trusting that it will happen and like using effort when effort was necessary, but also kind of like, yeah, again, always asking like, well, why are we rushing? Maybe we don't need to rush this was a thing we kept coming back to. So yeah.
I like that. I like the patience pro that feels like your band. Like, let's just take our time. We're gonna really be intentional. It feels like you're a very intentional band.
Well, yeah, we've been a band for a long time, and now we're a band that like six sevenths of us are in our 30s. Like I think it was different, definitely like I think of when we made like Closer Now, our album that came out in 2016. We were like, we gotta finish this because we booked a 10-day tour, and like, I don't know, there's a lot of like excitement and like chaos. And I think we were like, all right, that was one way to do something. Like, how else, you know what I mean? How else can it feel? So yeah.
Right. Yes. Well, figuring these things out, being a different age, that definitely a pandemic,
Hmm.
definitely, I feel like that has made me slow down significantly and maybe Now I'm just talking about myself, which we don't have to do. We talk about you, but those probably all took a big part in
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
it. Well, let's. Okay, I'm acting like I'm going to give you a big quiz. I'm not going to give you a quiz, but seven members in Sister Species. Do you want to give a little shout out or like you want to give a rundown?
Oh yeah, totally. I will introduce my band in order of like who's been in the band the longest.
Mhm.
So there's me, Emily Castrol. I sing and play accordion and I write the songs. So, I'm writing the words and the general structure of the song before bringing it to my fabulous band. And my fabulous band includes Noah Ophoven Baldwin, who plays trumpet, I think since 2013. And then Jake Baldwin, who also plays trumpet since 2014. Sten Johnson, another trumpeter, rounding out the three-part trumpet section. I think he also started in fall of 2014, so a long time. And then we have Lars Johnson on drums, who started in spring of 2015. And then Willow Waters on guitar. She came to us in 2019. She also sings backing harmonies. And then Maddie Teese, our newest member, who plays bass and subbed for us, I think, in 2022, but kind of officially joined the band in 2023, pretty shortly before we went into record. So that's our crew of seven. It's a really fun band to get to play with. I feel like so lucky every time that our schedules magically align. We can all be in the same room together. It's a really like, yeah, loving and creative and funny and sweet group of people. So yeah.
That's incredible. I know scheduling seven people, that's a feat. And actually, everything I think you just said and rattling off the year that everyone joined, that's amazing. You get major gold star points. I don't know out of what scale or how many, but I feel like you should get some big kudos for that. That was incredible.
Yeah, it's cool that people have chosen to stick around. I think we like consent is really important to me. And I feel like there's a lot of like open conversation about, I mean, almost like relationship conversations of like, what are you looking for in a band? Like, is this time commitment working for you right now? And kind of letting that change over time that, yeah, I think kind of helps us all to stay together and stay on the same page. But yeah, I feel lucky everyone's so talented and plays in such like other interesting projects and yeah, everyone just brings their own artistic perspective to the band, which I really appreciate. It makes it sonically rich. So
Absolutely. And I remembered but forgot that Maddie is in the band now too. That's amazing.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, so much talent with
I
Maddie
know.
and everyone in the band as well.
Yeah, Maddie's amazing though. Definitely, shout out. They're like the newest member of the band and have just like slid right in, right into the hang, right into the sound. And they also, yeah, like I feel like they play in every single band right now. Where I'm like, what? And that one? Like, wow. So they're a total rock star, literally and figuratively.
Absolutely. I know. As soon as you said Maddie and it, oh, that's right. I remembered the new band picture with everybody and then
Yeah,
there they were. Um, anyways, love Maddie.
me too.
And you know, Maddie fangirl. Uh
Yay.
fangirl for life.
Hmm.
So, all right. So the album release show is coming up on the 24th. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, what people can expect, and who else is performing?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a really fun night at the Cedar Cultural Center, which is our personal favorite venue in Minneapolis, at least my personal favorite. Um, and Theo Langason is opening. Theo's wonderful. He did a Cedar Commissions a few years ago, but just a really like amazing, thoughtful songwriter, really poetic lyricist, and has a really rockin' band too. I think it. I'm not totally sure who all he's playing with, but I believe it's Eric Mason and Toby Ramaswamy and Peter Morrow. I think I should ask him if that's his lineup, but those are some of the usual characters. But yeah, Theo's awesome, and for people who haven't seen him yet, it will be a real treat. And then yeah, then we'll play through the whole record and There will be some throwbacks to some older songs. We've been brushing off some like quite older songs, and that's been fun. Being like, oh, we haven't played this one together since, whatever, for many years. So that'll be a treat, I think. And another part of the night that I'm excited about is that Oren Fenn, who is an amazing artist and puppeteer, they work with Heart of the Beast, but also kind of do all of their own, they do, I don't know, all types of puppet stuff in South Minneapolis, but they are making some cool like stage decorations that are bog inspired. And we recently worked with them on a music video for Look at the Clouds, one of the songs on the album. And yeah, they're just like really talented and fun to work with. So there will be some cool like uh puppet like cardboard visual elements to the show. So I think that will be really sweet.
Wow. I don't know if anyone's really done that before. That's amazing.
Yeah, we live in such a rich puppet town. There's a pretty like amazing puppet scene here. I feel lucky to be sort of like puppet adjacent, or I've like done music for a variety of like puppet things. So yeah, it's a fun collab. I'm excited to see how it will all turn out.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. What a fun night of music in an
Yeah,
important space. Yeah, Cedar
yeah,
can.
at a reasonable hour. I'm like like, I think Theo starts at 7:30. We'll play at 8:30. Like,
Oh,
everyone can still have their bedtime. We have a lot of friends with kids. I think a lot of the kids are going to stay up late and come to the show, so it should be a fun all ages experience for everyone.
that's awesome. Well, that's incredible. I mean, this is a huge feat, and obviously, I'm not trying to minimize it at all, but what else can people expect from Sister Species, or what are you all hoping for with the end of this year and getting into next year?
Yeah, great question. Honestly, I think we're just excited to have this record out and kind of let it simmer in the world. I think we always are having small fantasies of like weekend tours or playing in other cities and towns. It's again a time when we come up against logistics, but yeah, I think mostly just like right now we're just kind of focused on celebrating Lena and the Bog being out in the world and feeling excited about like we made vinyl with Out of Wax, this cool local um, vinyl company, and we're just excited to have all the physicals out in the world and for people to take them home and spend some time with the album. So yeah, I really kind of focused on the release, and then I think after that we'll sort of see how we feel. I'm sure we'll play more fun shows and write new songs also at our leisure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, fantastic. Emily, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great chatting with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I always love getting to connect, and we're so excited to have KFAI on board sponsoring our release at the Cedar on the 24th.
Yay!